Now, we are talking about four different women in four different era. There's the
Yes.
best of all women, that's Maryam alayhi salam. And then there is the best woman of her time, that's Khadija alayhi salam. Then we have the best youths, right? That's the best, yeah, youths. That's Fatima. And yeah, and then we have Asya alayhi salam. And all these people are very unique in their own way. What do you have to say about Maryam alayhi salam, the mother of
Maryam alayha
Jesus?
salatu wasalam, known as Mary, her story is incredibly inspiring. Looking at the perspective of women, and a lot of women in this day and age find it difficult to balance between how do great women in Islam lived, the legacies they left behind, and how can we draw inspirations from them and also lead our own lives. So let me give you an example. And during her childbirth, she gave birth to a baby girl, not a baby boy. And she said it in the Quran, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى. Oh Allah, you can't compare a male child to a female child.
That he sent a message to her telling her that I want to use your body as a vessel.
Because
Yeah.
he said, well, Hudzi, shake that tree. He asked her to use force and shake the tree. When she shook the tree, he told her to eat the date. Fear. Fear of economy, fear of children, fear, every fear is there. من الخوف والجوع, hunger, poverty, is there. ونقص من الأموال, trials. Okay, the market is red today. The like
I think he's recording. Yes, welcome to this episode. My name is Fozia Oswa. Guys, this is Sumaya Abakar, all the way from Jos, right? Thank you so much, Sumi, for doing this. I know a lot of people are going to come for me, Sumaya. I don't know why. Because I used to tell people I
why?
cannot do podcasts online.
Oh really? You can't do podcast online.
I'm just like, I just used to say it because I don't want to do podcasts with them. I don't want to do the topic they want.
Okay.
Yeah, so guys, today we are talking about a very, very interesting topic, right? I think one of the best topics to discuss is about the four women that God has promised Jannah. Now, we are talking about four different women in four different era. There's the
Yes.
best of all women, that's Maryam alayhi salam. And then there is the best woman of her time, that's Khadija alayhi salam. Then we have the best youths, right? That's the best, yeah, youths. That's Fatima. And yeah, and then we have Asya alayhi salam. And all these people are very unique in their own way. Like they don't have, apart from their faith, right? They had a very unwavering spirit to the faith. Like, and at the
Exactly.
point where nobody saw it. So this is the brief of our episode. Though it's going to be like 3 episodes because it's short. But Sumaya is going to be with me here. I'm going to let Sumaya introduce herself to everybody and then we'll start. So take it on, Sumi.
Okay, my name is Sumaya Abubakar Muhammad. I'm coming from Jos. I think that should do. What do I do? I'm a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a farmer. I'm a mother, and I'm also a teacher. And
Yes,
I'm
great.
also into developmental works.
Oh,
A
for real?
lot of
Ah,
advocacy.
that's mad. Ah,
Yeah,
yeah, she's an advocacy, except for single people. She doesn't advocate for us. Yeah.
I'm also a team builder.
Yeah, all right. Now let's kickstart. So,
Ah,
for me, I want us to start with Maryam alayhi salam, right? I think respect being due is what's starting from Maryam alayhi salam. This 16-year-old, I mean, that had a very beautiful passion. Now, let's start from the beginning. What do you have to say about Maryam alayhi salam, the mother of
Maryam alayha
Jesus?
salatu wasalam, known as Mary, her story is incredibly inspiring. Looking at the perspective of women, and a lot of women in this day and age find it difficult to balance between how do great women in Islam lived, the legacies they left behind, and how can we draw inspirations from them and also lead our own lives. So let me give you an example. Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam lived in a temple.
Yeah.
So most of her life, she lived in a temple. Why? Because her mother, when her mother was pregnant, she wanted a baby boy. And she promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when you bless me with a baby boy, I'm going to give this baby, I will dedicate him to the temple.
Yeah.
And during her childbirth, she gave birth to a baby girl, not a baby boy.
Yeah.
And she said it in the Quran, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى. Oh Allah, you can't compare a male child to a female child. وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا وَضَعَتْ. And Allah knows what she gave birth to. Then she
Yes.
prayed to that baby and said, I place this baby to your care, and I want you to protect her and her progeny against the shaitan, the devil, the cost. And Allah accepted her dua, accepted her prayers. And because she has made a promise to Allah that what the baby she gave birth to will be dedicated to the temple, Maryam alayha salam was taken to the temple, and she lived her life in the temple.
Yeah.
And the miracle that happened right from when she was living in the temple was out of ordinary.
Yeah.
Because when her caregiver go visit her in the temple, yes, he will see her with different meals, different cuisines.
Yeah.
That even at that season is not happening. And he asks her, where are you getting this? And she said, women are in the light. It's from Lord. It's from my God. And because of that, he went and also prayed to God to give him a child. And God gave him Yahya.
Yeah.
That's
That's
John the Baptist.
John the Baptist. Yeah.
That's John the Baptist. So
Yeah.
you can see that she was young.
Yeah.
Aside from being young, different signs God have been protecting her and guiding her life, and
Yeah.
even sending angels to give her food, which is
Yeah.
then miraculous. Not even then, till now, it's miraculous. How could this
Yes.
happen?
Yeah.
That she even inspired and a messenger of God to also go back to his Lord because of how steadfast she is to her Lord. She's very pure.
Yeah.
So then the blow came in. Imagine if she lived this simple, dedicated, and she's just faithful to her Lord. Then one day she went out of the sketch to share or to do something different. And a man appeared before her. And he said salam to her. She replied, and he said, you're going to give birth to a child. And she's like, why should I give birth to a child? I'm not even married. She said it. So, like, why should I give birth to a child? I'm a single young woman, not married, and I'm dedicated my life to the temple. So I'm so religious. Like, why should I? You know? But he said, that's one of the promises of Allah. So you're going to give birth. So don't forget she's a virgin.
Exactly.
She's young. She isn't exposed. She's lived a complete life in isolation
Mm.
and their devotion to God.
Mm.
And she took it. Not first month, second, no. She was full, due for delivery. And she
Yeah.
was
She
like,
didn't go
oh
through
my
the
God.
process.
She didn't go through the process, and that's why most of so you have different stories about Mary alayhi salatu wasalam in different versions, and that's
Yeah.
why the Catholics, you see, they created a statue in her name and say she's the Virgin Mary,
Yeah.
because she gave birth to a child out of nature, out of biology. Yes, so she gave birth to a child via different means that ordinary women would go through. And
Yeah.
when she was to give birth, the pregnancy came in due time.
Mm.
And she even said to her Lord that, um, uh, I wish I could die
Yeah.
before this would happen. Why? Because she's looking
Yeah.
at how will she explain this to ordinary people?
Yeah.
How will she explain this to her society? Like she's a monk and now she's full. People will judge her,
Yeah.
people will label her, people will stigmatize her, people will abuse her of something she knew nothing about. But what? Because she served a Lord that say be and it be, the Lord of kun fayakun.
Fayakun.
And she said, Ya layta mittu qabla hadha wa kuntu nasyan mansiya. Oh Lord, I wish I could die and be forgotten so that this thing could not happen. But what? Allah has destined that to happen. And straight she went into labor. So you can see at which the time span at which God gave her the pregnancy due and also the delivery, the labor. She went through the process of labor, childbirth.
So
After doing that, he even gave her an instruction. Okay, there is a date tree there. Shake it
that's
so
the
that you
date
can use
tree.
it.
And then
He
you
said,
see the miracle,
yes.
right? I think everybody put the miracle on the bed, but I don't think there's like moments in that area that was really miraculous, like the date
Mhm.
tree. A
Yes.
pregnant woman should not be able to move it. Apparently, it takes is it an elephant to actually shake it, and then she shook it
And,
to the point that
and it
seven
was an
days.
instruction, a divine instruction that shake that tree and use the snack. The date was eaten. She have to
Right?
eat it. And medically, it has been proven that a lot of women are asked to eat dates.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can see that. And the baby was there. Because she was also as confused as everyone and lost, she took the baby and went straight to town. So I think there's an underlying moral lesson here. If the baby wasn't gotten through miracle, if an ordinary woman will give birth without a father, what she will do is she will hide and won't allow people see her. But what Maryam alayhi salam did, which is extraordinary, and it was also puzzling to her, is she took the baby and went straight to town because she's innocent. She don't know. This is miraculous. It happened miraculously. It also surprised her. So when she went through the town and people gathered and they started saying, Ya Maryam Malik, how did you get this? And she couldn't talk. So, and a miraculous thing happened that the baby have to speak at infancy. Why? To defend her.
Yes, that's
They said, your parents were righteous. Why will you have this baby? How will you get it? Your parents weren't like this. Legacy. As parents, as youths, as young mothers, as aspiring mothers, the name we leave to our children, either born or unborn, are still there in the society. So, in a world filled with vibes, in a world filled with that feeling to belong, you know, people fail to uphold names. Well, some people are so key in upholding family names, but some people fail at us that. And what legacy are you living? But the first thing the people told her was, where are you? Why did you bring this? These are not how your parents are. So, because this is not how your parents are, this is not how your parents trained you to be. And she couldn't say anything. But Isa alayhi salam said, Inni Abdullah, I'm just the servant of Allah. Atani al-kitab, I was given a book too. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا, and God have made me a prophet. Spoke to her defense. Why? Because whatever she says, nobody's going to believe her.
fact.
But I think Maryam alayhi salam, one of the incredible women we have in history, is the purest of them all.
Yeah,
She signifies purity, she signifies devotion,
yeah.
because it is even part of her lifestyle that Prophet Zakariya used to come into her temple and see different things that inspired him to go back to his Lord and pray for a child. And Allah promised him John the Baptist. So you can see the life she lived. That her mother wanted to give birth to a male child, but Allah gave her Mary alayhi salatu wasalam. And her life served as an inspiration, not only to her, but to us. How does Mary's life, alayhi salatu wasalam, have an inspiration and a connection to us? It has in different ways. Um, we're living in the 21st century, and a lot of people will call us the Gen Zs or the Gen Alphas. How can you navigate life like this? How
No,
can Sister Fauzia live a life when she really wants to feel the birds? The partying is there,
no.
the vibes are there. We all want to belong. We all want to feel among.
Yeah,
A lot of things that are the distractions are there, the music, the pops, the culture,
music.
and
Yeah,
everything. As a lady, how will you now draw inspiration from Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam? We can do that in different ways.
we
She
can.
have a unique devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes, she did.
That's it.
Yeah.
Some people cannot even imagine.
He
She's
inspired
devoted.
a prophet. You get me? Like
Exactly.
that inspiration. Now
Exactly.
I need people to understand that Zakariya was already old. Like his bone where I remember that should be calf, the beginning of calf, yeah. And he went back to his Lord. He said, I know my wife is barren. Like you see that word, I know. And he still asked, and then God gave him John the Baptist and named John. That was the first of his name, right? So like
Yahya.
it, yeah. It is beautiful. Like for me, yeah, the devotion to God, I feel, is the best thing. It doesn't matter the environment you're in, because Maryam found
Exactly.
a way to seclude herself, even though she was staying with the non-believers. I think that's a
But
very key point.
but I think in modern time you're not asked to seclude yourself like Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. She was fulfilling a testimony.
Seclusion is in two parts, right? There is
Yeah,
seclusion of, okay, for me, the few times I've seen myself that I'm the only, I said this, like I used to be the only Muslim. Okay, now the place I'm working, I'm not the only Muslim, but I'm part of the few people that pray. Now there is, you people are shooting, your house shoot can be from this time to this time, and at
exactly.
times you accumulate prayer. The seclusion
Yeah,
is deciding to actually do the prayer. That's the solution I'm talking about. The solution is knowing that, okay, you are in this time and this is possible, but I still want to do this. So it
exactly.
doesn't have to be like taking yourself to the temple as Mariam did, because obviously
Exactly.
modern,
Exactly.
yeah, modern,
Exactly.
it doesn't really cover that, but is giving a percentage of your 24 hours to the devotion of God. That is what you should take from it. I think that's what I took from it. And then the tawakkul, like understanding that,
Mm,
okay, when God have put you in this path, He has a plan for you. So, and whatever people want to say, as far as you understand that God has a plan for you, He's going to get you out. For instance, like when she said all those, I think she's the only person in the Holy Quran that asked God, okay, kill me before this time, right? Even though it's haram for
exactly.
us to say it, but I know that God, I know that that is mentioned because He knows that life can get you to that point. If you even got Maryam alayhi salam to that point of saying, no, just take me, right? But then
Yes.
she had that tawakkul saying that, okay, fine, I don't know this guy. This thing happened. You are saying this, and you will not take my life. Let me go through with this. And then there is when she looked down and he spoke to her, and then when he spoke to them, there is that. I'm pretty sure at that point she just knew that, okay, I don't know what God wants me to do. He said, pick the child and go. I picked the child and go. There's that obedience in, okay, I'm supposed to go here. Even though she didn't see the sense, she knew that it is suicidal. Like she knew everything she was doing is going to fire back. But because her Lord told her, okay, follow that path, it was really lovely. So I feel, again, as I said, the devotion part is devoting yourself to doing act of worship, act of favor, even at the point where you know that this thing will not really favor you, but God would favor you. If you pick that, God will favor you over. Do you understand? I think those are like the few things we can take from her. But what do you think? What else do you think?
Yes, so what you said is true, and I think you've made it very simple. You've simplified it for us. Imagine. So I think in the process of teaching some years back,
Yeah,
a lot of girls, young girls, ask me that they feel Islam is too hard on the
yes,
women. They think, oh, Islam is more male
yes,
than
I've heard that.
female. They feel Islam is about the male, giving the male more priority than the women. And I smiled. I said, maybe I think there's something we're missing. So most of great things happen from women. And thank God you're bringing this series to life.
Yeah,
Most people don't know that the life of Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam will inspire them because they never read between the lines.
yeah,
She inspired. It was because Zakariya alayhi salam was inspired because of her that he went to Allah, asked Allah for a son. Allah asked him to fast for 3 days.
yeah. I
Allah
was
gave
sick.
him a son.
Yeah,
His son, who also is tied down to Maryam alayhi salam's prophecy because Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam gave birth to Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam. So he needed a companion. So Allah brought a companion for him so that she will also have a sense of satisfaction. He has a brother. He has someone who will walk the path with him, in as much as she is there walking the path with him also. So, as a woman of today, how is her life related to me? That's the question.
yeah,
Okay, her life is related to me. How will it be relatable? Is her devotion. Yes, like you said, you have shootings and you have time for prayers. How will you reconcile that? You can choose not to pray.
yes,
You can choose not to pray. And that's you. That's your choice. But your devotion is saying, hey, in as much as I'm shooting, I also have to respect this time for prayer, because Allah said you have to make your prayers at those moments and times. So that's your devotion. What about her purity?
Yeah.
You being honest, you not being judgmental to others. You're not being so up against your opinion that you have to be open-minded. She's pure. She's devoted. Purity comes in different forms. As of you, you can say your purity is not speaking ill about anybody, not judging people, not talking about people behind their backs. That's your form of purity.
Mm.
So purity can manifest in different forms. And she was given a special task by Allah. And don't forget, she's also the only woman that Allah dedicated a verse because of her. Surah Al-Maryam.
I swear. And her name
Where
was
Allah gave
called
a
severally.
story. Yeah, was spelled out.
And she's the one Ibni. She's the one that has her name. Like when you say Isa alayhi salam, you say Ibni
And
Maryam.
it
Like
was mentioned in numerous times.
Isa, the son of Maryam. Yeah.
I make the link between him and his mother. Isa alayhi
Always.
salam. Isa ibn Maryam.
Yeah.
Isa the son of Maryam.
Most times you hear Isa, just as I did to Isa, the son of Maryam. Like, and then he
Exactly.
promised her that you are going to be the most virtuous woman. Like, people will know you for the impurity, for what you think people will
Exactly.
insult you with. People will know you, and today people know her as the virgin that she is. Like the power of that. This is over. This is over like almost 5,000 years. Yeah, this is over. Let's say 3-4 thousand years should be, and everybody still know her as Mary the Virgin. So it's really it's beautiful, man. Her story is quite inspiring. It's really really inspiring, and I didn't really see the pureness too. I think honesty and truth. She was really honest. She was truthful.
So imagine Islam is 1,400 years.
Yeah.
So that's Islam coming, right?
Hmm.
So imagine Christianity before Islam.
I think it's like
But
700
Allah,
years interval.
exactly. So Allah kept her name through all these centuries,
Two
through all these
books.
histories. Her name is still remembered every day because someone somewhere definitely have to read the Quran.
Yes,
So
and
her
Bible.
legacy is there.
Like it's impressive. She's really a very powerful woman. She's
Exactly,
yeah, very
exactly.
very. I mean,
And
she's
also a
worthy.
model that we should look at. So we should also dive in into her story, history, and learn more about her courage, her devotion, her dedication to Allah, and tawakkul. So one of the key is her tawakkul, her trust in Allah. She has that absolute trust that the God who gave her that trial, the God who gave her that baby miraculously out of nature, will not abandon her in her
Yeah.
times of trial. So the people judged her, people say ill about her, people slandered her, but she was steadfast and optimistic about her Lord, that whatever the moment of those trials were, he will not abandon her. So I think my takeaway is her absolute tawakkul, her absolute trust in Allah, that it showed in different ways. She has been supportive of her son alayhi salatu wasalam in different ways. She prayed for him, she was steadfast by him, she stood by him during trials, during tribulations, because she
Yeah.
has absolute belief and trust that Allah brought him for a purpose.
Yeah. I think she was his first believer there. Yeah, she was his first believer too.
Sorry?
She was his first believer, his first follower.
Yes, she is. Yes, she was. She was.
Yeah. That's really awesome. She was a supportive mother. She took all the slender too. She didn't let anybody like do anything to her son. And she was a giver.
Yeah,
She was a giver, she was a
exactly. She was
carer.
a giver.
Yeah, she was a
Generous. Yeah,
carer and
very
she was
generous.
strategic. She was very intelligent and strategic. She spent her time in
Exactly.
knowledge. Yeah, she
Exactly.
was
Exactly.
knowledgeable. Yeah,
These
she
are
was
her
very knowledgeable. She
qualities.
was very knowledgeable. Yeah, so she didn't just leave him and went. Like she did not just leave him like that.
Yeah.
She took
Yeah.
care of him. She
Exactly.
was there for him the best time. Anytime he needed, she was there for him. So she not just say, "Okay, God, you gave me a child, I born him. Now he's on your own." No, she took care of him. She gave him knowledge, supported him,
Exactly. Exactly.
and she helped him navigate a
She,
lot of things here. And I think she used her connection to the best of the knowledge, yeah, that she had. So yeah, to help him. So she was a really supportive mother inside all this. So
she is.
her
She
story
is.
is quite beautiful. Her The story is really beautiful, especially for the
And I think the key lesson we can learn as mothers is how supportive she is, like you said,
yes.
of her son. So Islam advocates for women to support their children's dream, calling,
Yes.
aspirations. She knew his calling. She knew his purpose. She stood by him and supported him. So,
Yes.
as mothers, how do we now stand by our children when we understand their callings and their purpose? Do we help them achieve their purpose? Do we help them harness their talents? Do we help them harness their potentials? I think we can draw a lesson from Maryam's life, alayhi salatu wasalam, as she stood, because she understood the purpose of Jesus, alayhi salam, Isa, alayhi salam, and she also stood, believed him, stood by him, and helped him harness that potential.
Yes, and I think one thing again, as mothers, we should understand that we have I think we have the power to um to pray and guide our children in the womb. Because if you look at it from her birth, like that's before her, when her mother prayed for a child that would be devoted to God. Yes, she wanted a male child because obviously then, early times, male were more than women. And then her mother's prayer sincerely was answered. She came out as a devoted person. So I'm pretty sure she too had that prayer, okay, fine, for Isa alayhi salam, right? And I'm pretty sure she prayed for him to be righteous, guidance, and because she's not far off from her mother, the way that you heard everybody saying
Exactly.
your mother was on
Exactly.
chase, your father was on chase, like they knew
Yeah.
it is impossible for her to be something that her mother or her father is not. What they say that the apple does fall far from the tree. Yeah, that's what they say.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like that's key of knowing that when you're carrying a child, you have the power to pray and guide that child, and God will actually answer you and guide the child. That's before the child comes is powerful. I think that's part of the miracles of pregnancy and the miracle of being a mother. So as mothers, adding to your points, you people should stop cursing your children. All
Exactly.
those things, like there's power in the tongue. Because that same mouth, you can
Yes.
use it
So what you said
to
is very key. There is a power in the tongue,
yes.
because when they said, "يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغية."
Mm.
Your father is was pure. Your
Yeah,
mother was
mother was
pure.
pure. Yeah,
Then she didn't talk because she promised her Lord she was fasting. وأشارت إليه. Then she pointed her direction,
yeah,
yes,
to
to
the
the
child.
baby. So she
Yeah,
pointed the baby to the people, right? That was when
they
he
were
spoke.
confused. No, they were confused.
How do the baby speak when he's still
And
in
then
the
he
shell?
spoke.
Yes,
Like, no, that was really miraculous. I told you, like, there's another thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does that we need to bring to light, right? She was so
okay,
devoted. She was devoted to 16 years, right? At least they said she was
exactly.
about 16 when it happened. And then she decided to step out of the temple. Her trials
Imagine.
began.
Yes,
Her
because
trials
Allah
began.
makes everything coincidental and intentional for her to do that. So all her life was in a temple. All her all her life she dedicated it to God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Now,
And that will now explain to you the level, the gravity of what she felt when Angel Gabriel met her and said she's going to have a child.
yeah, and
In fact, when she saw him, she said, A'udhu Billah. She's asking Allah to protect her from him. If he's like,
yes,
oh, no, 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 who are you? May the Lord protect me from you. You
yeah,
get it? But he said, no, I'm carrying an assignment. I'm coming to convey a message from your Lord that you're going to give birth to a child. I'm like, how? How will I give birth to a child
like
when I'm still a
how?
virgin? I don't have a man. I'm not married. Like, it's not correlating to her world.
At
It's
all,
not connected, her world of devotion, her world of tawakkul, her world of purity is not connected.
at
But
all.
because her Lord is a Lord of kun for your kun, he made it happen.
And another miracle again during this moment, he
Yeah,
sent an angel and made him a man. I think that's part of the few times he did that. In every respect, in
exactly.
every respect, he turned an angel. Now let's look at angelic form and human form. Like he said, an
Hmm.
angel, he's their baby toe is bigger that would destroy the world. I think that's for Jibril alayhi salam. Yeah, he's the biggest. So and then he turned him in every point. A man, that's how much he
Yeah,
respected her. Now there's this part of I did a podcast on it. I was like, they should understand that Mary would have woken up pregnant without any news and anything, and she cannot say anything to our Lord, and she will still be
Exactly.
grateful. But because of he
Yes.
was trying to convey the importance of consent, consent, he sent an angel. Like he flipped his form to every form, like every part of him was a human, sent him to tell her, even if he had already decided before her
Yeah.
existence that she was going
Yeah.
to be the mother of Jesus, he still took consent. He came and told her, say, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is the news I'm giving you. And she was confused, like, no. And it's not as if he was taking a
Wow.
permission. He's telling her, like, okay, I'm doing this, right? I know it's your body, but I'm doing this for you. So, and we need to get it. For women, God raised us so high. That is what I
Ex-
need to know. The way he raised her so high that he sent a message to her telling her that I want to use your body as a vessel is powerful. I think that's where you draw the line, where you are talking about consent. For her Lord to be able to make that, I think that's a very big line for everybody to know that consent, you have to ask. That word consent, you have to. He would have not. He doesn't need to. I mean, he is God.
yeah.
He would have just said "kun for your kun" and she wake up like that. But he
Exactly.
decided.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
understand? He would have just said the
So
"kun for
in
your kun"
fact, even
still.
the labor process, Allah guided her through the labor process. That's
Yeah,
also another level of elevation. Because he
yeah,
said, well, Hudzi, shake that tree. He asked her to use force and shake the tree. When she shook the tree, he told her to eat the deed. Every process, Allah was with her. He guided her through compassion. Don't forget, He's Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim.
Rahim.
So because he knew. So I think there's also something wonderful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes, there
Is
is.
that He will bestow a trial on you. But through that trial, He still be compassionate with you. He
Facts.
gave her the pain of labor. And he said, okay, hence you have your tree going through that pain of labor. I'm a mother, so I knew the pain a woman goes through. He told her,
Sure.
do this, get this, eat this. These are what? These are
Compassion.
already signs of his compassion.
Mm.
And he's giving her dates for her to eat, which will nourishes her strength, and making her ready before taking the baby. And because Allah knew the society, he now he didn't allow her talk. He allowed the baby to speak in her
Yeah.
defense. Because if I should talk, whatever I say, whatever she
Mm.
says, nobody will accept it.
Facts.
So he has to prove a miracle to the community for them
For them
to
to
know
know
that,
it's a
okay,
miracle.
this is another miracle. If she gave birth to a baby miraculously, then the
It,
baby spoke miraculously,
miraculously.
also breaking the record of nature.
Yeah. So you people should know.
Also breaking another record of nature, because babies don't talk if they're infants. They
They
have to
don't.
take through some steps, some stages before they can communicate. But
Yeah.
he spoke. وَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ. She made a sign to them. And he said, they said, how can we speak to a baby, an infant? And he said, إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ آتَانِيَ الْكِتَابَ وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. So I am this, and I was given this, I was given a book, which is the Injil,
Yeah.
and like he explicitly explained to people his purpose of life.
Yeah. In one verse.
Remember, إني
In
عبد
one
الله
verse.
آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني, and he even told them, Father, وجعلني مبارك أينما كنت, and I'm blessed wherever I go.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really
Exactly.
beautiful. I really love this.
Very
I
fun.
love it. And you talked about trials. Yeah, trials. Another thing we mistake generally is not women, it's not men, it's human beings. We feel because if we're devoted to God, we will not have trials. I feel that's the opposite. Because I'm adding best men, like five prophets, Isa alayhi salam, Muhammad alayhi. I'm going to do all because I want to bring out this particular statement that because you are so devoted to God doesn't mean that you will not go through trials. You'll probably receive more bad blows than people that do not believe in God. Because
Exactly.
let's look at it.
Exactly.
16 years, right? Came out, and then from being married the virgin,
To
the
being
most
married
virtuous
a
woman,
single mother.
to being married
No,
the
to
single
even being
mother.
married a single mother. Yes.
And
Imagine you being a single mother.
yeah, people called it
Exactly.
on chair. So just imagine the flip, right? And she kept on being dedicated. Our ability of not continuing devotion after a triumph is part of humanity.
A very part of you, in fact, part of
Like
us.
it is part of us and it is necessary. I think
It
recently
is.
reading the Holy Quran made me understood that you are supposed to do that. You are supposed to doubt him. Like you are supposed to do that. It's part of you to do that. But the gold key is to find your way back. Is understanding that yes, oh, this is still part of my plan. I made it good, I made it bad, I will punish, but I will still guide, and I'm the most merciful inside all
And
that.
don't
Like
forget, as a Muslim, he even told you to be prepared. He said, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ. I promise you, he's going to give us trials in economic hardship, everything. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ. Fear. Fear of economy, fear of children, fear, every fear is there. مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Hunger, poverty, is there. وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. Trials. Okay, the market is burnt today. The like disaster, catastrophe, right? Well, anfus, people will die, accidents will happen.
yeah,
But he said at the end, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. For those who are patient, I have glad tidings for you.
yeah,
So
that's
imagine her struggle as a single mother.
mhm.
After that, the label, the stigmatization, and also her picking up her life and continue with that same belief is outstanding. Is really outstanding.
And she had to watch her child go through a lot of triumphs, the stoning,
Exactly,
all those. We are
exactly,
not talking about that.
exactly.
Like even with her devotion, even though her child was miraculous, even if he was is one of the favorites, he still went to trial. Like his life was not perfect. There was no assurance that okay, yes, because he's a miraculous child and everything, he's going to have a very peaceful life. Like even him too, she had to watch him go through the entire Gbasgbos. And I feel that's another ball game at his entirety, right? So I feel this is part of God's awesomeness. You understand? So wherever you are, if you're listening to this or you're going to trial, understand that it is part of God. As a Muslim, it isn't believed that there's no pain, like not even a headache. Do you feel as a Muslim, except for God is forgiving you? There's a reason, you know. Some people will be very, very bad and nonchalant. But maybe they have something that they do, and then they'll get sick all through their life, and then they'll go. You've lost to me, and this podcast has really been interesting and inspiring to me. The network is a little bit bad for her. So we are going to I'm going to cut this episode from now, talking about the episode of the most virtuous woman God has ever created, and we know her for her righteousness and her purity. She's the purest of the purest, the best woman. Do you see how it is given to Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam and not Hawa, that's Eve, is given to Mary and not her grandmother, right? So this is really, really powerful. And Mary is a direct descendant of Imran. Imran is a direct descendant of Abraham, right? And then there's Zakariya, who was a prophet and also checked. He's the prophet of that time, and he also checked on her. Then you have John the Baptist, another total miracle. I mean, his parents were all old, and he came, and we have Jesus Christ. So these are stories that should inspire you. It's not as if we're expecting you to do exactly what they did. We are saying that there are some characteristics that they have. For instance, being unchaste, being pure. They will tempt you with sex as a woman a lot. It's your sense to say no, and you too will tempt other people. But again, it's your sense to say no. I'm really sorry, Sumaya is not here to say bye to you, but hopefully she will join us in the next episode. So if you are watching this and you love this episode, please like, subscribe, share, because we have three more women coming. We have the story of Khadija alayhi salatu wasalam, who is the backbone of Islam after Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then we have Asiya, very interesting story, who is the wife of Fir'aun. She's one of the women that was promised Al Jannah Firdaus. And then we have Fatima bin Muhammad, who is the daughter of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I would make us understand why God have promised these people. Now you can see why Mary, the mother of Jesus, is a wonderful woman and is promise, you know, like she is in paradise because of her devotion. XOXO Fozia Osman, aka Billion Dollar Auntie, aka the new Mama Africa. I would see you all in the next episode.